The lecture hall fell silent as Professor Bradley handed the chalk to Irene Washington, the elderly black janitor. "Since you're always lurking around math classes, why don't you solve this?" he smirked. Students erupted in laughter. What happened next left everyone speechless. Irene didn't walk away. She took the chalk. Hampton University's mathematics department prided itself on exclusivity. Its pristine halls and mahogany panel classrooms were designed for America's brightest minds, or at least those privileged enough to claim that title. Professor Richard Bradley, with his perfectly trimmed beard and tailored suits, embodied the department's elitism. His advanced calculus class was legendary not just for its difficulty, but for Bradley's merciless treatment of students he deemed unworthy. Irene Washington had cleaned these halls for nearly 20 years. Her gray-streaked hair always tucked beneath a simple bandana, her shoulders slightly stooped from decades of bending and scrubbing. To students and faculty alike, she was practically invisible, just another black service worker maintaining their prestigious institution. Each morning, Irene arrived before dawn, moving quietly through empty corridors with her cleaning cart. Sometimes, she would pause outside lecture halls, listening to discussions of complex mathematical theories. Her eyes would momentarily shine with an unexpected intensity before she continued her rounds. On that fateful Tuesday morning, Irene was wiping down boards in Bradley's classroom when students began filing in. She worked quickly, hoping to finish before the lecture started. "Still here, Mrs. Washington?" Bradley's voice carried an edge that made students glance up. "Don't rush on our account. After all, I'm sure you find these equations fascinating." A ripple of uncomfortable laughter spread through the room. Most students looked down, unwilling to participate, but equally unwilling to object. "Actually," Bradley continued, his voice louder now, "perhaps you could help us." He gestured to a complex differential equation that covered half the board, a problem that had stumped even his brightest students the previous class. "Since you enjoy lingering around mathematics, why don't you show us how to solve this?" He extended the chalk toward Irene, his smile cold and mocking. The classroom erupted in laughter. A blonde student in the front row whispered loudly, "She probably can't even read it." Irene stood frozen, her weather hands gripping her cleaning cloth. Behind her eyes, memories flashed. A young, brilliant woman at MIT, professors praising her extraordinary mathematical intuition, scientific journals publishing her undergraduate research. Then darker memories. Her father's stroke, the family's financial collapse, the academic advisor suggesting someone like her might be more comfortable pursuing other opportunities. 20 years of silence, of hiding her brilliance, of enduring invisible prejudice. 20 years of watching others learn what she already knew. Something shifted in Irene's eyes. She straightened her shoulders, set down her cleaning cloth, and walked steadily to the board. The laughter died as she took the chalk from Bradley's suddenly uncertain hand. The room grew deadly quiet as Irene studied the equation. Then, with swift, confident strokes, she began to write. Her hand moved with practiced precision, laying out an elegant solution, using an obscure theorem few graduates would recognize. 6 minutes of absolute silence followed, broken only by the rhythmic tap of chalk against board. When she placed the final equal sign with decisive click, the lecture hall remained suspended in disbelief. Irene turned, her eyes meeting Bradley's shocked expression. "You've applied Yoshida's theorem incorrectly in your initial problem," she said quietly. "The boundary conditions need adjustment. That's why your students couldn't solve it yesterday." Professor Bradley's face drained of color. A student in the back whispered, "Holy shit," breaking the spell. Suddenly, everyone was talking at once. "Who are you?" Bradley finally managed. Irene set the chalk down carefully. "Just a janitor, professor. Someone who once loved mathematics before life had other plans." The story of what happened in Bradley's class spread through Hampton University like wildfire. By lunchtime, faculty lounge conversations centered around the revelation that their janitor had not only solved but corrected an advanced calculus problem. The mathematics department chair, Dr. Eleanor Chun, discovered what many had never bothered to learn, that Irene Washington had once been Irene Williams, the promising MIT mathematical prodigy who published 2 groundbreaking papers as an undergraduate before mysteriously disappearing from academia. My father had a stroke, Irene explained when Dr. Chen invited her to her office. My scholarship covered tuition, but not medical bills. When I tried to find part-time teaching work, doors kept closing. One professor told me directly that the department wasn't ready for someone like me at the podium. Irene smiled sadly. Eventually, I needed steady work. Cleaning paid the bills. After a while, it seemed easier to disappear into invisibility than keep fighting a world determined to see only my color, not my capabilities. The following week, Dr. Chen made Irene an unprecedented offer to teach an advanced seminar while maintaining her janitorial position, if she preferred. You can't erase 20 years of invisibility with one job offer, Irene said carefully, but perhaps we can build something new from here. She accepted a part-time teaching role while continuing her morning cleaning shifts. Both jobs have dignity, she told surprised students. One shouldn't need a title to deserve respect. In her first seminar, 16 students, including several from Bradley's class, sat in stunned silence as the woman they'd seen mopping floors elegantly navigated through mathematical theory most professors struggled to explain. Professor Bradley avoided Irene for weeks before finally approaching her janitor's closet one evening. His apology came haltingly, wrapped in academic language that barely concealed his shame. I've spent my career judging people based on credentials and appearances, he admitted. I never considered what talents might be hidden in plain sight. By semester's end, Hampton University established the Irene Washington Scholarship for promising mathematicians from disadvantaged backgrounds. At the announcement ceremony, Irene stood at the podium, still wearing her work uniform. Mathematics taught me that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, she told the audience. But life taught me that the path to dignity often requires navigating through prejudice and assumption. What matters isn't how many detours we take, but whether we maintain our integrity along the journey. Irene Washington continued mopping floors each morning before teaching advanced mathematics each afternoon. Not because she needed both jobs, but because she chose to embody the lesson too many needed to learn. That dignity isn't conferred by title or position, but inherent in being human. What prejudices might be blinding you to the brilliance around you? Share your thoughts in the comment below, and subscribe for more stories that challenge our assumptions about who deserves to be seen.